Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new video. It's a full moon tonight. I'm taking advantage of that. I'm walking with Luna. We've been walking about 2 hours now. We do this every night. But in this video, folks, real brief video, I want to talk about how people are digging their own graves with their teeth. Yes, digging their own graves with their teeth. People grow up in this crazy material realm where they're told that you need to eat 3 solid meals a day, right? Breakfast, lunch, and fucking dinner. It's shoved down your throat quite literally. Everywhere. You go to school at a young age and, oh, you got to eat breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. You got to have lunch. You got to have dinner. You got to blah, 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 blah. People are overstimulating their digestive systems. They're eating too much. And on top of that, many of the foods that people are eating on a daily basis, they lack the 90 essential nutrients. They're devoid of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and essential fatty acids. So you eat all this stuff thinking that it's food, but it's not actually food. It's stuff. It's a food thing. It tastes good. It's exciting to the senses. That's why people eat it all the time, but it's not providing you any nourishment. And that's why no matter how much of this shit you eat, these standard American foods, you always feel like you're never really satisfied, right? It's because your hunger hormones have not been shut off, because the food hasn't done so. You see, real nourishment satiates your hunger. After you get a meal that actually gave you something that your body needed, you don't get hungry. You may want a little bit more, but you're not like ravenously hungry. But all the gluten, all the carbohydrates, the refined processed foods, they will never give you what you need. So you eat more and more of them. And that's something called hidden hunger syndrome. Hidden hunger syndrome is when no matter how much you eat, you feel like you need more. It's because you're not getting what you need to a large extent. That's not exactly the entire truth, because some people really do have eating disorders, and even if they are eating healthy foods, they just can't stop eating. But that's besides the point. Man, it's just like all of the IBS and the leaky gut and the Crohn's disease and all this crap can be largely avoided, 90% of it, folks, let's be honest, by caring about what you eat, by not eating the wrong things. You see, if you eat mindlessly, if you eat the wrong things, we live in an input equals output world, right? You naturally attract the opposite reaction to your actions, which unfortunately, if you're eating the wrong foods, if you're eating mindlessly, etc., you're going to get the whiplash effect of that, and it's not going to be in your favor. It's not going to be in your benefit. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I still eat junk food from time to time, pizza, this, that, and the other, but I have a solid foundation of how I live my life and how I consume things. And unfortunately, many people don't. And because of that, they'll eat fucking just, like, really? Do we really need all this food, you guys? Breakfast, fucking lunch, and dinner. What has breakfast, lunch, and dinner done for America? What has it done for the world? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner has made us fat, sick, and nearly dead. And on top of that, all this low-fat, high carbohydrate shit that they push here in the United States, it's garbage. Low fat will make you fat. High carb will make you fat. Sorry, your body needs healthy fats, animal fats. A high carbohydrate diet, like most people in the United States eat a high carbohydrate diet. Most people eat over 400 grams of carbohydrates a day, every single day. You wonder why you can't lose weight? Low fat, high carb diets are fucking ridiculous, in my opinion. That's a good diet if you're an athlete. That's a good diet if you're a professional cyclist or someone who, like myself, used to cycle 14 hours a week. You need that fuel. But the idea that people who sit in desks all day at work or this, that, and the other need that degree of carbohydrates, you're just asking for trouble, folks. Chronically elevated blood sugar, etc. You know, I hate to say it, but I will. I honestly believe that if everyone in the United States skipped breakfast for 1 year, after that year, we'd all look much different. Everybody would be leaner, everyone would look stronger, etc. We overeat, guys, and I do it from time to time as well. I'm not judging. We overeat. Why do you think the obesity statistics are so high? It's because we overeat. We're eating the wrong things too. but we were raised in a world where we were told that you need to eat all the time. When you eat all the time, you never give your digestion a break. You never give it a fucking break. Your body is constantly busy breaking apart foods and trying to assimilate the nutrients. Unfortunately, most people are often eating tons of gluten, and gluten proteins can't be properly broken down in the stomach acid, so that by the time they reach your small intestine, the chemical bonds that hold the amino acids together on these gluten proteins are not broken. So now it tumbles through your small intestine, these gluten proteins that are undigested, and destroys your intestinal villi, which absorb nutrients from your food. So, on top of the fact that people eat 3 meals a day constantly, and many will for the rest of their life, oftentimes there's gluten added to the mix. And when there's gluten added to the mix, when you're eating gluten every day, breads and cereals and all this other garbage, what is it doing? It's destroying your intestinal villi in your small intestine. These finger-like protrusions that line your small intestine absorb nutrients from your food. So when you eat constantly, and when you're eating gluten in the mix, like I just said, you're literally dropping bombs on the absorptive tissues in your small intestine that are responsible for absorbing your nutrients and ferrying them into your body. Do you not see what I'm trying to convey here? When you eat foods constantly, you never give your body a break from digestion, so it can't regulate other things that it needs to do because its energy is being used digesting solid foods and breaking them apart. Now, on top of that, the gluten destroys the finger-like protrusions that line your stomach or your small intestine. These are called villi, microvilli. They absorb nutrients. You're dropping bombs on your absorptive tissues. So now, after 20 to 30, 40 years of eating gluten, do you think you're going to be able to absorb nutrients from vitamins or vitamins or any supplements or even healthy foods? No. This is how they destroy us. And we participate in our own destruction by eating these garbage foods. Gluten is one of the biggest assaults on your health that nobody wants to hear, right? Nobody wants to hear that. Eat, eat, eat. Breakfast. Don't miss breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. Depending on your activity level, absolutely that can be the case. But guys, breakfast, lunch, and dinner has not done much for most people, other than severely tax their body to the point where they're in what I call a perpetual state of chronic digestion. When you're constantly digesting things, you're putting strain on your body, your digestive system, because it can never get a rest. So now you run into digestive problems, leaky gut, Crohn's, all the issues that come from all this. The list is extensive. Man, it's just fucking nuts how much of a bill of goods we've been sold. High carb, low fat. They demonize fucking butter while promoting their fucking garbage vegetable oil margarines and all their crap that are directly linked to fucking heart disease. They took away the good stuff and replaced it with their garbage, which is just a Trojan horse weapon disguised as our little health aid, right? Our little helpers, like the margarine that's going to help you stay healthy. No, it's going to destroy your health while you think it's doing the opposite. My battery's about to die. I gotta go. Peace be with you. You can directly experience the acquisition of your lost power. Your senses will open up and you'll be able to understand more of what the Matrix is trying to convince you and hoodwink you into doing so that you lose your soul as a byproduct. Catch my drift? It's called participation. You don't have to participate with this nonsense. And you can get to the point where you've established a state of health that's beyond what the system's norm of health is. I'm talking about power. I'm talking about ether. I'm talking about fire. Kundalini, folks. This is what they want to stop. Don't you see that? Aren't you paying attention? I hope so. Or are you like millions of these lost souls that are on the earth plantation as slaves? This is a broken system and it's designed this way intentionally. This is a test. Do you not see that? Your heart is being weighed on the scales of Mayat. Do you not see that? Do you not sense it? Do you not feel it deep within your bones, within your blood? Do you not have a genetic memory of this? You're a lot more aware of what's going on than you give yourself credit for, but you've lulled yourself into a state of slumber. And your day-to-day consciousness now resembles a deep unconscious sleep. There's no lucidity. Getting healthy requires you to become lucid. It takes action. Lucidity requires action because once you become lucid to the truth, you're at a fork in the road, aren't you? You either keep going down the current or you swim up current. Swimming up current takes effort. Builds your muscles though. You see, the easy path is for the sheep. They're floating down the river. All this nonsense, guys, it's subtle poison. Subtle fucking poison. They're modifying our genetics. They're changing the way our body works. And they're giving us a massive inundation of smart devices that make our life convenient. But these smart devices, as they evolve, you guys, they get more and more weaponized, and before you know it, everything on your phone will be able to be implanted into you. And I know that sounds very science fiction, but that's the future, you guys. That's what all the bigwigs are talking about. That is the aspirations of these insane fucking oligarchs that are running the show from behind the scenes. This is insanity. This is absolute insanity, and I have no more patience for the sheep. These people are destined, wired, whatever you want to call it, for their own destruction. They participate with it, and they love it. And they will fight, kick, and scream to defend the status quo.